One of the biggest frustrations when it comes to having really bad social anxiety is the constant misconception of being rude. I am not a people person, so I value my alone time a lot, and there are many times where I just feel like getting away from people and being by myself because that is what makes me most comfortable. And when I'm around someone and I just want to get away from them for a bit, not because I'm annoyed by their presence or anything, but it's because, again, I value my alone time and I really just want to be in private for a little bit. That person takes that personally and is like, what, you don't want to be around me or anything of the sort? Take it as an attack rather than, understand that it's just me. And this is just the way that I naturally am. And I think the person that has the biggest issue with this is my mother, by far. Like, for example, I could just be watching TV in the living room with her, spending some time with her. I could be down there for an hour even, and then I just get up and go to my room, and she's like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "I just want to be alone for a bit. I want to go to my room." And then she starts questioning me why I want to get away from her. She seems to take it as more of an attack than rather just me, wanting to be alone for a bit. I try to explain that this is nothing malicious, nothing against her, but she doesn't have it, and it just devolves into an argument about me not valuing human interaction enough. And you know what? Maybe she's right. Maybe she's absolutely correct. I don't value human interaction enough. I've always preferred being alone, being away from people. That doesn't mean that I hate being around people all the time. There are definitely times where I want to be around other people, don't get me wrong, but I don't see it as necessarily a horrible thing that I tend to like being alone more rather than being around a bunch of people. There are plenty of social people in this world. They love being in large crowds, they love being surrounded by people, they have large friend groups, they're the life of the party, all of these things. But then there are people on the opposite side of the spectrum. People like me, people who keep to themselves, people who don't like being around others all that often, people who value their alone time more than those kinds of people. And I think that's perfectly natural. We don't scold those people for being social butterflies, so stop scolding us for not being nearly as social as those kinds of people. Not everyone is the same. Not everyone is going to feel as comfortable in those types of situations and environments as other people. Now, I understand being a loner can get to a point where it's actually unhealthy, like, say, one cannot leave their room or their house under any circumstances, and they have an actual fear of human interaction and being outside. And some say I might have that, but I can actually like talk to a stranger, albeit it's very uncomfortable, but I can still do it. But there are people who are way worse and cannot do it at all, and it's actually a huge problem. That's actually when the problem needs to be addressed. But if someone just simply does not like being around people that much, and they're still totally fine going outside, they can still talk to a stranger, even if it makes them uncomfortable, I say, don't scold them for being the way they are. This is just how they naturally are. There are introverted people, and then there are extroverted people. This is not fucking rocket science. There are plenty of people in this world who don't like being around swarms of people, and it's perfectly natural. And hey, if one likes being around people 24/7, they have large friend groups, they love attention, fine, whatever. Those people are totally valid. This is not me shaming extroverted people at all. I'm just saying, if that's seen as natural, then the opposite should also be seen as natural. There are people who don't like those types of situations and environments, and stop trying to force it upon them because they are just naturally not people. What I mean by that is, these types of people are most comfortable when they're either alone or with a smaller group of people. And I view that as perfectly fine. I wish these people would stop being shamed for just simply not being as social as some other people may be. That does not mean these people are weird or worthy of ridicule or anything of the sort. They're just not very social people. Simple as that. Being an introvert does not mean you're in your room 24/7, never talk to anyone, never step outside. I fucking hate that misconception so goddamn much. It leads to people having a negative misconception about people who are not very social. They think they're shut-ins, they think they're weird, they think they're worthy of ridicule, and I'm so fucking sick of it. I'm so tired of being seen as odd just because I don't like interacting with other people as much as some other people do. It doesn't mean I hate interacting with other people with a burning passion. It doesn't mean I will never interact with another person unless I'm forced to. It just means that I like like being alone or with a smaller group of people rather than being around a large group of people, and I see that as perfectly natural, and I wish other people would see this as perfectly natural too, instead of trying to force social situations upon a person who just does not like social situations all that much. Again, unless someone is a complete shut-in who will refuse to go outside and talk to other people, I don't see this as an attribute that necessarily needs to be changed, especially by force. Some people are just not very social. Simple as that, and that's something that you just need to accept. Cool, you love being the social butterfly, the center of attention, and you love living life that way. Awesome, perfectly valid. But that does not mean under any circumstance that you have to shove that lifestyle down the throats of people who are just naturally not that way. So can people finally understand that when I say I want to be left alone, I actually do indeed want to be left the fuck alone? It does not mean that I have anything against the person that I'm stepping away from, it just means that I'm introverted and I value my alone time, and when I am alone, that is when I am the most comfortable. It's just how I naturally am and the way I like to live life the most. Either accept it or shut the fuck up and fuck off. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.